Ciao, buongiorno, wherever you are and whatever time it is in the world. We are back once again, Interworldwide, for the Interworldwide podcast. Thank you to all, not only who tuned into the special edition during the week, where we did roast our Capitano to the core. We're really excited with the amount of feedback we got. And it was all about getting different opinions in from the different sectors of the fan bases all around the world. A lot of people agreed with us. A lot of people didn't agree with us, which was not surprising at all. It's exactly what we went for. I've got two very special honored guests with me tonight. Alessandro, thanks for coming on again, mate.
Thank you.
Anytime. And Mr. Ian Kerr, a favorite guest. Thanks for coming on again, buddy.
No problems. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. All right, guys, we're not going to dissect the Bologna match that intensely because I was pessimistic and the result went exactly the way I thought it would. Alessandro, we'll start with you. Quick dissection of Bologna. Were you surprised and what were you most disappointed in?
Unfortunately, I wasn't surprised at all. As I said last week, I was expecting something similar. If we go down one goal, there is no way right now with our mental situation to come back. Even throwing Ranocchia in as a striker, it didn't work out. It did in the past for Spalletti, not this time. It's just a matter of being there with the hat, we still have the same formation, but we are not there mentally.
Yeah, I would agree. And Ian, your reaction overall to the Bologna result, and how do you think that sets us back a little bit more now, obviously?
Well, it definitely puts the pressure on us now. I mean, going to Parma, we have to get a positive result here. It can't be a draw or defeat. It has to be a win. And up against a Parma team that's in form, I'm struggling to see how it improves from here. I watched the first half from Bologna and I've seen enough. I didn't need to watch the second half. It was that poor. And I think the worst thing of all was the result, getting beat at home by Bologna. I mean, it's an absolute joke.
Yeah, it really is. And, I'm a huge fan of watching people's fan reactions from live in the San Siro and even people at home. There's a lot of Italian YouTubers out there and just the reactions on their faces, the fans, the panoramic shots of the Miazza when that final whistle blew. It was really an overall sense of distraught and disgrace and shame and humiliation, a feeling that we've become all too familiar with at this point of the season in previous years. So, as you said, Ian, and as you said, Alessandro, we need a result against Parma this week. So we're jumping right into the Parma talk now. If we were to take on Parma this week, which we are, I'm first of all looking for a prediction. And so we're going to start with predictions during this edition because I feel like if we can backwards map this particular match, we can also see what will come of it. It's no secret. Our boss is under scrutiny. Spalletti's on his last legs. I don't believe the media at all when it comes to, speaking about Marotta and whether or not the job is safe or anything like that. So, Alessandro, the Parma match this week, is it Spalletti's last hurdle? If we don't get a result, and by result I mean 3 points, could we be seeing another manager take a walk?
I don't think so. I think they're going to wait at least for another couple of weeks, if not until the end of the season. I don't think these managers are going to do anything crazy like in the past. They want to send signal that the things at Inter are changed. I don't know if it's the best solution, but I don't think, honestly, anything's going to change.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I'm always not for sacking a coach throughout the middle of the season, but I don't think I've seen us hit a mental block like this before. I don't think I've seen the players hang their heads in such dismay and such disbelief. Ian, going into Parma, do you think that this could be Spalletti's last game in charge if we at least don't put in a fight or a performance that's worthy of applause?
I'll be honest, I don't see how it's going to improve. The players don't seem to be playing for Spalletti. They look disinterested. They don't look hungry. And when's it going to, how long is it going to take? Is it going to take the sides behind us to, be on level points with us or go ahead of us before we make a change? But on the other hand, who do we change to mid-season? And that's the issue.
Yeah, all these questions so up in the air. it's not just the fact that we're playing poorly now as well. You know, people on our brand have been saying all season that the Serie A standings are a little bit elusive in our favour. Had our noisy neighbours in Milan and our Roman rivals just been a little bit more consistent this season, we might not be looking over our shoulder with still a 4.5 point, 6 point cushion over our nearest rivals. We would be looking up same way we were last season at this point. It almost got to a point in around February, March last season where we slipped 5-6 points outside of the Champions League zones. That was looking like it was going to slip away. And here we sit complaining, but we are still clear. But the problem is now, is that you've got Atalanta on the horizon as well, who are playing great football. You've got Lazio, who are starting to kick themselves into gear. We are the out-of-form team in that top 6 or 7. We are the out-of-form team, the one that has got the least mental capacity going in to these fixtures. So I'm particularly worried that we're not looking out over our shoulder properly and not noticing all the competition. Alessandro, if you'd have to pick the two sides that are behind us chasing those Champions League spots, which two sides are you most fearful that could pip third or fourth from us?
I would say Milan and Atalanta at the moment, but this coming month is gonna be crucial, and usually is when Spalletti does the best. In the past, that's what happened, and if we can start to win one game or two, everything's gonna change, hopefully, and so that's what I'm hoping for in this Parma match. But we are a very emotional team, so if we concede one goal, it's over for us. Basically, we don't have that strength to come back. If we're able to score one goal, the whole season is going to change.
Yeah, it really does seem like this team is a team that absolutely thrives on momentum, and anything that derails that momentum is just a massive psychological blow, which is just really, really worrying to see. Ian, I'm going to jump ahead to our opponents, Parma, because I want to give them a lot of credit on this pod. I think that they're playing some good football. I think that they've got a great spirit and energy about their club, as you would expect from a club like Parma, who has, you know, a semi-decorated history. Coming back into the Serie A this season, they were never going to be pushovers. Nobody expected them to be pushovers because they're going to go into every fixture fighting with as much that they have. Are you looking at Parma this weekend, Ian, and thinking, you know what, 3-3 against Juventus, spirits are high. This one's going to be even tougher than Bologna, mate?
Good in a way, because they see us, we're wounded at the minute, and they are going to go straight for the kill from the first whistle. Yep. It's going to be hard to keep them out. See, the first, I'd say 15, 20 minutes of the game is going to be very tough on us.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking that, man. It's one of those Inter games where the whistle blows and straight out of the gate, you're going to have to accept the fact that for the first 20 minutes, we're going to be on the back foot and we're going to be looking like the side that's in the bottom half of the table, as we've looked in many of our fixtures against lesser opponents this season. In terms of players to watch in this Parma side, I'm obviously going to say Gervinho, you know, his natural little Jogger Benito style. He's still got the flair. And you know what? He plays with a smile, and that always helps. I think his charisma has helped Parma a lot this season. But apart from Gervinho, Alessandro, can you identify one or two other problem players for Parma for us, please?
Of course, I would say Inglese, the other striker, is the main source of fear for us. It's very tall player and is crucial for the Gervinho kind of style. Other than that, the defense is working very well for them, and lucky for us, one of their defenders is Bastoni, that is on loan from us. He's a really young Italian defender, and hopefully he's coming back next year, and that could be a really exciting defense if we add Godin to the bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. Bastoni's been playing well. Is he playing this weekend against us, Alessandro? Do you know?
I believe so. I believe they're gonna have the same team of last week.
Lovely. Well, we're not really going to go into Bastoni, what I think Bastoni is going to do to us this match day, because we don't have a great history with sending players out on loan and having them play against us. If I'm not mistaken, it was Federico De Marco who scored the screamer against us in the first match this season, wasn't it?
It was.
Pretty sure.
Yes, it was.
Pretty sure it was.
And it was offside.
Yeah. Oh my God.
VAR missed that, remember? And the handball on the line.
Yeah, I remember. But by that point in the match, it was just getting to the point where I was just looking at it and shaking my head like, this is just textbook Patsa style as usual. Time to talk a little bit about our roster, about our squad list going into Bologna. Going into Parma, and how we are going to line up. I've seen a few reports surface over the last few days that Raja Nainggolan is back to very, very high levels of fitness. When you compare his metric throughout the season, he's been playing at 55%, 65%, whether or not that's just the excuses. But apparently he is at quite a good level of fitness at the moment. I'm skeptical. I need to be won over again. I really do need to be won over again because I don't think he was that great against Bologna. I think, as you said, Alessandro, when we go a goal down, everyone's physical attributes seem to dial back 50% as well, and we just look stunned. So, Alessandro, going into Parma, any particular players that have to be inserted into the lineup and any particular players that have to sit it out?
Well, I think the midfield of Parma is going to be really tough against us. So apparently Gagliardini is going to play instead of Vecino. I'm not sure that's going to be the best choice for us, but it's also to see if Kuchka or Rigoni, which one of the two is playing. So I think that's going to be a last second thought for Spalletti. I'm curious to see if he's going to play D'Ambrosio on the right or Cedric. Apparently Versalico went back to Atletico officially, or anyway, it's not part of the plans anymore.
Yeah.
On the left, we're gonna have Dodbert, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with Dodbert. I just hope that means we're gonna have Asamoah in the midfield. That can be a game changer for us.
Absolutely, and you know what? This is the third podcast in a row, if you count the special edition during the week, where someone on our edition has said that Asamoah needs to play in the midfield. And I really don't see, with Spalletti's back against the wall, why he needs to keep making reasons not to insert Asamoah into the midfield, especially now with Cedric, who, despite the really disappointing result against Lazio, did come on and have a decent cameo. If anybody's interested, please check out our YouTube channel, Inter Worldwide, where we've just uploaded a new video of all the touches and the highlights that Cedric has performed for us so far. And he's looking quite agile. He's looking, keen. He looks like a kind of player, obviously coming from a Mediterranean background in Portugal. He seems pretty keen on redeeming that price tag and getting out of, the gloomy side of the weather over there in England and coming over to Italy. He looks like a player who's really trying to push that redemption. And with the news about Versalico, which I'm very disappointed over, not because he's been a great performer, because he hasn't been a standout performer, but just because there was a lot of hype over his transfer. The fact that we had such a big issue at fullback for so many years. And, I personally thought he was the answer after seeing him perform in the World Cup. But it just didn't go the way we thought it would. Ian, swinging it over back to you, mate. Couple of things. Players that you definitely want to see for us against Parma. And second of all, can you give me your opinion on the Shimi Versalico situation so we can get another one of our great members talking about how the deal for our potential great right back has just not worked out at all?
Right, I'll start with Versalico. I mean, I thought it was a win-win for us. Similar to the sort of Rafinha deal. He was coming from a bad injury, and things turned around for him when he was at us. I thought the same would be for Versalico, but you can definitely see that the World Cup has had a part to play. And I'll be honest, I'm very disappointed not to get him, but if Cedric can perform consistently for the rest of the season, we're getting him at a cheaper price than the Versalico deal.
Keep going, sorry.
Sorry, the next one, somebody I want to see in the Parma games, Gagliardini. I know he had one of his worst matches last time out, but I'll tell you what, I was looking at the stats. He's made 10 appearances in Serie A this season, all spread out. This player needs running the team. He needs proper match fitness. So does I'd be happy to see him for 4 or 5 games in a row just to
Yes.
see if he improves.
Well, to be honest, mate, I think that's been one of Spalletti's biggest flaws this season. All these cameos to players and then ditching their confidence by putting them back on the bench. It's a very unproductive way of managing. Keita Balde and Lautaro Martinez, the two biggest victims to that. Attacking players need to be integrated into the side, so frequently. And I agree. I'd be giving Cedric many games. Alessandro, I'm conscious of your time as I think you need to depart soon. So just quickly before he goes, Alessandro's been doing absolute amazing work with the Inter clubs all around the world, setting up some established interviews with established Inter clubs. Check out our latest interview on the website with the Inter club in Egypt. It was a fantastic interview. And coming up for you over the next week, we're going to be interviewing the Inter club Balkan as well. So Alessandro, switching it over to you again. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we will speak to you again surely soon.
Of course. I hope this weekend is going to be better than the last couple. And Forza Inter.
Oh, wait, you don't get away that easily, mate. You did think I wasn't going to let you go without a prediction. Come on, lay it on me. Quick prediction.
Prediction is going to be 2-0 for us. I feel positive today.
All good. Thanks for coming on, mate. We'll speak soon. Ciao.
Anytime. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Ian, just us two left for a few minutes now. Looking ahead to Parma, 6:30 a.m. kickoff for me on Sunday. I'll be up watching it with a fair few Sydney Australian Interesti. The mood isn't great over here at the moment. One more question for you, and it's a pretty serious one. Sacking Spalletti, whether it comes now or whether it comes at the end of the season, the names that are being thrown around at the moment are very established names. It's either Conte or it's either Mourinho. Now, I have to ask you, both of these managers' style of football, it's a very pragmatic defensive style of football. It's not necessarily the way we want to see our Inter play at the moment. Do you think bringing in an established winning coach like that is the most important thing, despite the negative geared tactics? Basically, Ian, what's your overall opinion on the managerial merry-go-round? How do you think it's going to end?
I think bringing Mourinho back would be a mistake, even though I love him for what he did. I just wouldn't want him to desecrate that legacy that he left. As for Conte, and actually Juventino, I'm not too happy about, but if it improved us, it would take that away. But I'll be honest with you, I've had this conversation with other members of Interclub Belfast, and who's to say it has to be a big name? Like, can we not go for somebody maybe within this area that could do a job and improve their career and our chances?
Yeah, absolutely. We'd have to put some trust in our board to make that decision. But, trusting that kind of decision at the moment is almost a no-go zone. How do you trust that decision when every managerial decision for the past 9 seasons has been, at least geared towards the negative side of success? Not much has come from changing our manager on a regular basis. Me personally, we've spoken on this podcast about this few editions in a row now. It's the hot topic. I don't see Spalletti back here next season, and I don't think he's going to be sacked mid-season until we actually have potential threat of not making that top 4. If he was to drop out of that 3rd position and say sit on the brink of the top 4, I think we'd know for sure that his time is coming. And, to be honest, we're probably going to see Vecchi step in at the end of the season, because the closer it gets towards the end of the season, the less sense it makes to bring in someone who is established. It's just not the way these managers work. They're not going to come into a dressing room on match day 31 or match day 34. It's just not the way Mourinho and Conte would do business. In terms of Mourinho, I would have to completely agree. Go on, Ian.
You would get that more off maybe provincial managers that move around in mid-season.
Yeah,
rather
absolutely.
than a big game.
Yeah. In terms of Mourinho, I'd have to agree with everything you say, mate. Back in the day, not only were his tactics amazing, but he had that man management skill. He was able to walk into a dressing room. I remember Frank Lampard saying in one of his interviews that the very first day he landed at Stamford Bridge, he walked into the dressing room, sat them all in a circle and go, look at me. This is the last time we look at each other and we're not champions. We will be champions. I just don't see Mourinho having that sort of influence anymore. The toxicity that he left at Manchester United, you can just see that psychologically he's not in the same frame of mind that he was when he had that hunger and winning mentality. And as you said, it would absolutely tarnish the legacy that he has left behind. But one of the biggest arguments as well that a lot of fans are making is, well, beggars can't be choosers. And if someone better is available, then you simply go and get that manager. Spalletti might be running things in a diabolical frame here, but surely it'll only improve with a mentality like Conte or Mourinho coming in. I'm very much on the fence about Conte. I really do admire his tactical approach and I admire his man management skills, but you know, there is that past obviously with Juventus. Ian, what would you think about Antonio Conte coming in?
No, really, it's a hard one to call that there, to be honest. With him being the ex-Juventino and Beppe Marotta being in the club could possibly help the club in the long run. But at the same time, they would have to get off to a great start and do something right away to get the fans on board.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Ian, where are you watching Parma this weekend and what time will it be in the UK for you?
It's a 7:30 at night kickoff for me, and I will probably be watching it at home because we have no planned meet up at Interclub Belfast to go watch, so I'll be watching it in the house.
Absolutely. I'll have to be joining you at 6:30 a.m. in Sydney so we can vent to each other if it doesn't go right. As usual for our guests, you don't get off easy either. You need to give me a prediction as well so that you can be embarrassed the next time you speak here.
I was thinking this up from Alessandro. I'll go for a 1-1. I think it'll be Inglesi with a goal for Parma for us. It's going to be a hard one to call. I'll say Nainggolan, actually. He owes one.
Yeah, I've just got this feeling Nainggolan's going to score. I've got this thing, Ian, it's going to go either one or two ways. Either Icardi, Nainggolan and Perisic are going to actually step it up as world-class players and show the golfing class between us and Parma, or it's just going to be another 1-1. We really are an all-or-nothing side. I really don't see us getting lucky in this fixture. I don't see us haggling at 0-0 or 1-1 and getting a late winner. If we're going to win this game, we're going to win this game. If we're not in it, it's going to be 1-1. So you know what? I'm going to go with 1-1 as well. And some of our listeners must be thinking, wow, these are the most pessimistic Inter fans on the planet. Barely anybody in this podcast is predicting wins ever. But you know what?
Hard. It really is hard because you watch it every week. It's so disappointing. You just can't see an end to it.
Exactly. Not only that, we started this podcast right in the mix of the winter break. It was probably the worst time to try and start predicting the results, but that's okay. Hopefully, it can only go up from here. That's all we're going to have time for this edition. It's a really quick one. We're all really busy. Shout out to my boy Ian from the UK, Northern Ireland more specifically, and we will speak to you very, very soon, mate. Thanks for all your help.